everybody, and welcome to the first of the bonus matches that we're taping here for the Learn Dota 2 League Season 12. No Ocelot once again this time because unfortunately his hamster passed away and he has to go to its funeral.
Yeah.
But you do have me and Randy. Say hello, Randy.
Hello.
And we weren't going to do these games, but I don't know. It's, I'm done doing everything I need to do for today, so.
That's true. I think if you're casting a tournament, you should see every game.
Right. And we're going to see every game at the very least. For the record, we also saw MF Doomed versus Nagas with Attitude, which happened a few days before this for whatever reason. And but we did cast that. We just don't have the file for it. So you're just going to have to take our word for it that we did see it.
Yeah.
So shoutouts to Nagas with Attitude and to MF Doomed. So let's get this underway.
5 seconds remaining.
Alright.
This is the Backdoor Boys versus Lich Better Have my money.
I don't think Lich has your money.
He might have your mana at least if it's like 6 years ago. So it's one of those unfortunate skills that they recorded a bunch of lines for. They're just never going to be able to use again, basically.
Yeah. Very tragic.
5 seconds remaining.
Unless they give him a more interesting cue or something, you know, you could still have it there.
Yeah,
If that has
yeah.
then that has lines that are getting removed. You know how it goes.
That's true. It's
I've-
a very volatile game.
I feel like it might not be a terrible idea for them to do like another like VS session with some of these guys. Anyway, Ogre Magi is the first man. Yep, Ogre Magi. Yep, Ogre Magi has appeared at least once in every series so far in the group stage, so getting rid of him, not a bad idea.
10 seconds remaining.
The question of how much effect he's had on the game is kind of up there, because I believe even though Ogre Magi has been picked every single series so far at least once, I believe he has won precisely one game in that lineup, so you know.
Potentially. I mean, I don't have the stats in front of me, but...
Got a Night Stalker ban, Necro on the other side. Necro's a bit more of a telling ban. I feel like there are a few heroes that you could kind of point to and say you don't want to play these against Necro. Especially any mids, potentially, because he could be mid. Or anybody, really, who's going to be mostly just physical damage, because if all you can do is right-click, then you can't do nothing to him, and he can just farm all he wants.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah. Like a Spirit Hero or... Probably Ember most notably.
The biggest thing, a big thing about him as well. Big thing about him as well is he's also a hero that takes a very large time investment to kill. So getting rid of that means they might be looking for some shorter team fights rather than big concerted efforts. You'll definitely see some of that if you see like say like an Abaddon go down, for example. It's a very similar situation. Or Oververn, very similar situation. Putting some stock in the second ban, perhaps they were thinking about pulling out Night Stalker there. Shroud Protector is the ultimate choice, and we have a first pick Silencer. It's a very forward pick, the old first pick Silencer. There's not many counters to Silencer in the game, but there is a lot of ways to play around him. And it's a very sort of interesting. Oh, speaking of Abaddon, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I don't know if you quite realize what you guys have just done. You have really opened up a can of worms for me on this cast. This is going to be fun.
Great.
But
10 seconds
old Silencer. There's not a lot of heroes that outright counter Silencer. There's a lot of ways to play around him, but you're also using the 300 IQ play of by putting Silencer down. It's like a soft ban on a load of heroes. You just can't have a cast heavy comp, or if you do, you gotta have a plan to deal with them.
Dire team pick.
Grimstroke.
Put a Grimstroke
Abaddon
out.
and Grimstroke. That's almost certainly going to be the offlane.
Yeah, it's a good Inksfall combo.
Could be 4 and 5. I'm not huge on the Abaddon Inksfall because I feel like it's just a little redundant. It's better to have something that helps you chase from afar rather than something that helps you chase when you're already there. You know, something to help you initiate, which he's not so great at, but it's still good when you get there. Tide Hunter. Oof. Tide Hunter is gonna have a That Titan or Silencer combination is a very, very nasty group of guys to be seeing there at the first round of picks because, you know, while Abaddon and Grimstroke are pretty much all offensive all the time, Silencer and Tide are pretty much all defensive all the time. There's just going to be two dudes who are
Right.
not so easy to just fall upon, and are going to have a lot to say about protecting other people in their lineup. Void Spirit next to go down. Not a bad guess as far as the ban there. I feel like a Void Spirit with this lineup so far wouldn't be a bad idea. It certainly matched the first two bans.
Right.
10 seconds.
The Ember
remaining.
Spirit also would definitely fall under that same umbrella.
5
Yeah.
seconds remaining.
But you know, I think Ember Spirit's what, like the least popular spirit right now, so you know,
Yeah, yeah.
less likely to run into him. I will also say Ember Spirit's somebody that this gets absolutely mauled with that global silence, so I don't know if he's necessarily
That's
somebody you
true.
need to be worried about. Then I don't feel like I feel like you already had a sufficient counter pick and silencer to the Void Spirit as well, so you know, at least Void Spirit has a little more to say than Ember Spirit does in silence, though.
None of that Lena.
No Lena here.
10 seconds.
Pretty strong mid
remaining.
pick, but it's a reactive
Radiant
mid pick that
team
is good against certain, you know, glass cannon, low HP but high damage mids that you can just blow up at level 6.
I certainly don't understand banning Storm Spirit when you have Silencer already. That much I'll say.
Dire team ban.
The wrongest possible guy to be facing is Storm Spirit as Silencer. It doesn't matter if he himself isn't mid.
Yep.
It's just not something easy to deal with. On the other hand, we have a Drow ban, which certainly matches the two heroes we have so far. You know, grand slow entrances. You're not going to see like Abaddon blink into a fight at any point. He's going to charge in,
Yeah.
and Drow is great against guys who just charge in. Grimstroke, really the same thing if he's getting involved with the fight at
5
all. So
seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
picking out the anti-mage here.
Okay.
I guess I could see it. But
Maybe an alternate mana heavy mid like Medusa or Windrunner then?
10
could be
seconds
could be
remaining.
also they're just worried about Silencer getting enough in to just become a liability for his team with the ult.
Right. That can also definitely happen.
Radiant team pick.
They're saying no Medusa. They're guessing
Yep.
Medusa, which is never a bad guess. Medusa is everywhere right now. Even post nerf, she's still pretty much omnipresent. Which makes you wonder if they nerfed the
10
right
seconds
things, you know?
remaining.
Oh well.
5 seconds remaining.
Thinking about this one.
Feels still very open. I feel like Abaddon and Grimstroke don't really go poorly with like anybody in Dota, more or
Dire
less.
team pick.
Okay, so Ben's a 3.
Yeah, that pretty much confirms that the first two guys are your offlane, unless they're gonna do midline or something wacky like that.
They could do midline. I don't think so though. I think the Lena, Drow Ranger, and
10
Medusa.
seconds
Medusa
remaining.
to a lesser extent, but Luna and Drow Ranger definitely point to like a.
5 seconds remaining.
I mean, the Lion kind of is a glass cannon mid, but more of a like.
Actual
More of
cannon,
a-
less
yeah, more of a-
glass.
Yeah.
A quap,
More of
for
an-
example.
More of an offensive glass cannon mid like Quap, like SF, something like that.
I don't believe the Shadow Fiend has graced us with his presence at this event so far, so that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
I think he might have
Presence of
been.
the Dark Lord.
No, he wasn't in the either the MF Doom and Naga's matches. Earth Spirit, they did get a spirit after all.
Okay, well, yeah, there you go.
It's going to be a hard task to deal with his Magnetize. It's going to be a lot of heroes that are kind of clumped up
10
together with each
seconds
other here.
remaining.
And his silence is going to be doing them a lot of good, especially in conjunction with the
5
existing
seconds
silence. So I
remaining.
do feel like maybe he's a bit redundant in comparison with Silencer. Well, we'll have to see how it goes.
Maybe if it's timed well, I don't think he is.
Right. The thing
'Cause
is,
if
it's
it's timed well, then Earthspur can just lengthen a global silence basically if everyone's magnetized.
right. There's also a positioning factor in there as well. So there's always the in paper versus reality thing, and it works well if you time it well on
Radiant
paper.
team
Be interesting to see if it works that way in reality. We got a Juggernaut pick here. Not a bad
Yeah.
idea, considering we've got 3 guys so far that are really just, not able to deal that well with a magic immune guy. But on the other hand, Abaddon does have quite a bit to say about him. He can still
10 seconds
hit you with that
remaining.
Curse of Avernus, just chase you during that spin, and
5
you
seconds
definitely don't want to be
remaining.
ulting him.
Alright.
Not a perfect counter Abaddon to Juggernaut, but not a guy you want to see.
Right.
At the very least, Jug is pretty good against him in lane, so he'll have a lot to say against him there. Until Abaddon hits 6, he really just can't afford to just keep standing and Juggernaut spinning to winning. And Juggernaut can certainly keep pace with him. And with Grimstroke there, he doesn't really have any way to prevent him from approaching or hold him down when he wants to go himself, but Slark might be able to do that.
Maybe explains the Necro Tree and Deuce of Bands a little more.
Right.
10
He's going to
seconds
be
remaining.
a bit of a... He's going to be a bit in
5
almost
seconds remaining.
Silencer's mercy at some parts of this game. There are going to be a lot of parts of this game where whether Slark gets to live or die is going to be dependent entirely on whether Silencer has lived or died. But if Silencer's knocked out, then really the only good thing they have against him is Earth Spirit, and that's a lot of luck needed for that one to
Radiant
go
team
well.
ban.
Knocked out
Remember the
Magnus
mag?
because it's TI.
Dire team ban.
A
I think
Huskar ban.
Max necessarily slots into their lineup, but it is very good against what Dire has.
Tell you what they just don't want to see. I think more than anything else, they just don't want to see Magnus with an ink swell on top of his head, just horn
Right.
tossing you, charging you into absolute death. What are you gonna do? You got the stun. Even when the stun comes off, it's the Curse of Avernus, and you're getting beat up by Slark and all that. Quap also going down. Quap certainly,
I
I
thought
would
they were
say.
gonna run Mag mid, huh? It does happen.
10 seconds
That or they
remaining.
really think they're going with the wacky Lion mid. I mean, it has happened at this tournament so
Oh, yeah.
far.
5
That's
seconds
true.
remaining.
Looks like
I was expecting red 2 mids
to
for
a
less
degree.
picks.
The Backdoor Boys may be
Riot
taking
team
a play out of the alright, Sniper Man, taking a play out of the Lich playbook by banning a hero that they already kind of have a nominal counter for on their team.
Oh.
Ten seconds remaining.
Great against Slark, pretty good against Lion, but really not against any of the other guys.
5 seconds remaining.
That's Huskar, not Sniper necessarily.
Yeah.
Sniper I certainly get. These are 5 guys that are definitely going to be subjected to the zoning, right? They're going to need the enemy team to be in a relatively close position to each other, and having Sniper, you can just stand a mile away and
Radiant team pick.
just keep hitting at you is not great. Winrunner picking up the last slot. It's gonna be kind of hard for her to farm, I think.
Wonder mid, I would assume.
Yep.
Yep.
I assume it's Windrunner's 2, Jugs 1,
10
Earth
seconds
Spirit
remaining.
is 5, and Tidehunter and Silencer are fighting for 4 and 3.
4 Spirit, I think. And Tide 3.
Silencer 5? I guess it could be.
Yeah.
Don't see that much these days.
That's what I would assume.
I assume it's 3, 4, 5, 1 so far on Backdoor Boys.
Yep.
Milking this last pick.
What are we gonna pick? What high damage mid? High damage, low defense mid.
It's Shadow Fiend
Alright.
indeed. He's finally shown up. So there you go. I think he's a pretty good pick because they were going to need somebody to deal with both Juggernaut in magic immunity and Windrunner in practical fizz damage immunity, and I think they did find somebody good for that.
Because SF can just do whatever he wants.
Right, he can just ult on top of Windrunner and then just start throwing shade at Juggernaut. The one downside is he's very, very susceptible. He has to get the jump, and that's really the Backdoor Boys' biggest downside here in general. They have to get the jump. If they do not initiate into these fights, they are screwed. They cannot let the other guys start it out on them, because Shadow Fiend will
Yep.
die in 2 seconds, even no matter what Abaddon and Lion do to try and prevent that. And once that's happened, it's basically just organized retreat is the best thing that you could possibly do to get out of there, and that's your only play.
Hey, at least Lich have Cthulhu on their side.
That's true. They have Cthulhu, and they have like an Olmec statue in the form of Earth Spirit, kind of Olmec
Yeah.
Aztec sort of situation going on. Shoutouts to Legends of the Hidden Temple, who have kindly
Yeah.
donated this set to Earth Spirit.
He won it on a game of Figure It Out.
Right, right. Well, whose vocation do you think he guessed to get it? Right.
Juggernaut, last of his kind.
The blank. The blank of blank blank.
Yeah,
Prepare
but
for battle.
blank, blank, blank. I guess it would be but blank in blank. There we go.
It's a hard one to figure it out. I don't know if I would have gotten it aside from maybe a slight hint could have come from the fact that he's this weird dude just sitting there wearing a mask at the stand.
Yeah, potentially. Nobody knows what we're talking about, probably.
If you do, you're about to get slime dumped on your head.
Yep.
Run over meat. That's a good name.
What about the bush?
I don't know if it's like the meat itself has been run over, or if it's a command like we must run over meat,
Uh,
or if it's like
30
meat
seconds.
running
run
over.
over me at.
It
Just
could
didn't
also
decide
be.
time yet.
Could also be, dude. This is a name with a lot of puzzles in it.
Yeah.
Let's do a roll call here, shall we? That's definitely 3 Abaddon if he's got himself a little Quelling Blade there. Position potentially 5. We've got Rada on Lion. This is a Backdoor Boys. We got Vex on
We'll
Abaddon,
fight here.
pause 3.
Silencer.
Who's charging in
Ooh,
here
he's
quite
getting body
valiantly.
blocked out.
He's
Third
dead.
raise. Yep. Nah, Baden actually gets the last hit on him. It's always what you like to see.
Sure is. If you're Abaddon, that's the biggest thing you want to see going for you. Silencer is indeed the 5 up here, yep. So, pause 3 of Abaddon being played by Vex, free TP. Pause 4, we have Combination Beam being played by Grimstroke. Everybody do all of your voice command lines right now, please. Pause 2, we have Manoy. Manoy from the Mihoi clan. I believe this is, alright.
Well,
Luckily-
you can do rundowns easily now.
Luckily, we can get past this, get right back to our rundown. Manoy Minoy, I believe this is Doodlebob, playing their Pause 2 Shadow Fiend here. And Chris, who I believe is the guy who really likes Peruvians.
Wow, he's sponsored
Well
by
done.
Peru.
Yeah, there's somebody who, in the pick phase, his name was something like, I love Peruvians or something, or
Yeah,
Peruvians are based or whatever. So that's your Backdoor Boys on Lich Better Have My Money, playing Pause 4, Earth Spirit. Who is Dogtown. I almost didn't name you for no reason. Kid Dynamite on Windrunner here, who's a little messed up. The Bush is our Juggernaut, and he is looking good so far. Tide Hunter being played by, it's their Pause 1 obviously, their Tide Hunter, X3147. It's a very, must be like a robot, Dota playing AI. Your
Yeah.
dreams finally come true. Finally. Some combat music up here as Grimathy's stroke goes down. Abaddon's probably actually about to eat it too. He's not
Yeah,
in a
he's
great
got
spot
his
here.
curse. Oh, that's brutal.
Double kill in Silencer's favor. That's sort of the issue with Juggernaut and Lane as Abaddon, is that he can easily just roll past your shield and just keep going, basically.
Yep, Jug is a deceptively powerful hero in lane. Usually you wouldn't expect a Pause 1 to be able to have this much lane presence, but Jug is certainly going to kill you if he has any DPS or stun with him.
Or even move speed items. He doesn't even have a move speed item, but...
Yep.
Of course, When he's not spinning, he really has nothing to say. Oh, this was bait,
He is
but
spinning.
Batten doesn't care. Batten doesn't
Oh,
care. He
no.
wants to get his heat back. He does not care how he does it.
Going distance.
Nope.
Oh.
Never mind. Turned around at the last moment. I believe that a Photic shield on him right now is a visual bug. No. What?
Alright, he didn't go.
He didn't go, huh? Okay.
Didn't have the confidence he would get that.
Maybe it's a strategic thing, you know. He wants Silencer to just go back and take the Walk of Shame so he can concentrate more on just denying Juggernaut a farm.
I'm poking Jug, yeah.
You know, it's a strategy. Here at the bot lane, it looks like pretty much just Earth Spirit is just occupying the jungle as much as humanly possible. And Lion is just starting to realize, hey, I have no reason to take this. I like Abaddon's dramatic wind up for a swing for a last that he didn't even get.
Nah.
Or Windrunner just never seems to be able to be even close to this lane. He's definitely going to have to be chewing through a lot of
getting
regen.
raised out. Bot lane.
Yep. Oh, this is it for Earth Spirit, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
Just goes down. It's good target priority. You know, don't worry about the tide. Just get the Earth Spirit because he's the one you can actually kill, even if he is the technically less valuable target.
My aim fails me.
Oh, she just casually gets raised over.
Yep, certainly. Got a bit of a formidable SF.
The old Doodle Bob is not making life easy for Windrunner here to any extent. He's already got his bottle. Windrunner does not have one in kind unless she's picked it up during death. Oh, she actually did. I guess she got it at the last second there because last time I checked her, she did not have one of those. This off lane here for Radiant has at least been doing a good job in making Juggernaut unwilling to go for creeps more often than not.
Right. Yeah, take a little bit of a poking here.
Yep, he's going to have to spend. That is one upside with Abaddon and the Abaddon Juggernaut lane opposition is you can very easily force Juggernaut to spin when he doesn't want to and just take that option away from him for a while or just chew through his mana if that's not necessarily your game.
Yep.
Tried to Clarity there, did not get more than half his bar back. Curse on Grimstrokes, he's just going to have to walk away, but Drake is getting beat up again. He's not doing great in last
Mid lane.
hits.
The kill here? Nope. Barely gets away.
Yep. Tries to turn around and get the power shot on him. I'm not necessarily sure that would have gotten the kill either way, but boy, that was sure close. She is leveling it, so there's that factor there.
Bounty.
Very stable lanes here for the most part. Nobody's going really too crazy, but it looks like generally Radiant's having the advantage so far. Oh, they're just going to get a free kill on Silencer. There's a lot of burst damage, a lot in a very short time. Abaddon actually kind of in trouble here. No. He's not nearly as much as it initially looked.
Get the shield. The healing ward being juked really well through the trees, but we'll eventually get
Abaddon
killed.
gets that mango off.
Oh, man. Oh, he's dead.
Jug just frames away from freedom. Just gets barely sniped down there. It's not great for Lich Better Have your mana. But Silencer actually turns around and gets one on Abaddon there.
Yep.
Earth Spirit shows up to try and make a save on Windrunner here, succeeds. Lion gets pulled away to join as well for Shadowfiend's side, leaving both people at bot just completely alone. Yep. And Slark is taking major advantage of this, just bullying poor Tider as much as possible. Has to back off when Earth Spirit shows up, but he's going to be right back into battle. He's just got that regen going on him. And rushing quickly towards an Echo Saber. I understand why Abaddon players like to build Echo Saber, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a word of advice, alright? Don't. It's not worth it.
Oh, he's certainly
Died
dead
for
there.
it, yep. Jug just chased him down with spinning, and Batten had not enough left to just tank through it.
Oh my god. Ridiculous.
At least get some damage back on him with that power shot there, but it's still definitely a trade in Shadow Fiend's favor, especially if you look at that last hits chart.
Yep.
Last hits chart in general, very heavily favoring Radiant. You know, both Fiend and Slark have a considerable lead on last hits. Well, not so considerable for Slark actually, but still have a lead on last hits over their opposition. Because Abaddon has been keeping things pretty much bogged down at top. Abaddon and Grimstroke have been keeping things bogged down, and Jug and Lion, or not Jug and Lion, Jug and Silence are having to pull here.
Right. Sir. He's level 6.
He had to drop Global Silence for that. Juggernaut had to basically completely waste his ult there. You're gonna still just keep going in on this. Silencer is dead anyway.
That is unfortunate.
Batten himself just at 6, so he does not. He no longer has to care about what Jug's doing. Jug just has
Jug's
to
well aware
run.
of that.
Just run. And he does have enough move speed at this point to just get the hell out of there. Jug, beyond doing a deceptively large amount of damage, is also deceptively fast as well.
Yep.
Even with just phase boots, he is just under Abaddon speed, and Abaddon is one of the fastest heroes in the game at base. You do not want to dive here. I'm not really sure what Lion's up to at this moment, to be honest with you. Kind of just showed up to not put pressure on the tower, which is a little weird to me. Silencer is more than willing to come out here, and he's probably dead for it.
Yeah.
Good timing on the X-Well there.
Jug is gonna.
Yep, just casually get a kill on Grim. It's definitely in their favor if Juggernaut can get away from this. She likely is. Abaddon in desperation has to just re-pop his Aphotic Shield, but it gets him nothing anyway. Lion is now just casually dead, and Abaddon is in a lot of danger here. Does he have ult still? He does, but his courier certainly doesn't. His courier was on more borrowed time than Abaddon was, unfortunately, but his time ran out.
Yep.
Ultimately, all in all, probably better for the Dire there, just on getting Silencer Cement, and you know, they didn't get as many kills. They need a little bit more time to do so, but you cannot underestimate just how much power is in Silencer getting that in. And meanwhile, the bot, Titan, was certainly able to keep Slark at least at bay, but now he might be dead for it?
Yep.
He's so close, dude. Okay.
He is.
Oh. Of course, Lion might also die for this. That
Slark put a lot of faith in his buddy there.
Yeah. Slark kind of just backed away a little early from that tower, I think. Speaking of towers, first in the game goes down, it's mid T1, which Shadow Fiend just takes while Windrunner's away.
Could have been deadly if he got hit.
Yep. Despite that last battle, I will say I do think it's you could generally say lane phase has been a success for the Radiant, who have been able to generally outfarm their opposition, generally outperform their opposition in kills, get better targets more often than not.
Yep.
You know, one thing you definitely want to see as Juggernaut is death in your column at this point. He has one. He has 3 of the kills, 3 of their 7, nearly half, but that's still a death in his column, and that's not a great thing to have.
Right.
Juggernaut now having more or less just kind of retreated to jungle here. Unfortunately for Radiant, they don't really have any ability to dislodge him. Even they go in, he can just spin, he can just start omniing. So they're just gonna have to eat his tower and live with it, unless they want to get really adventurous here. The combination here of Abaddon and Shadow Fiend is really a great steroid for Shadow Fiend's ability to do tower damage and you know, right-click damage in general once he starts getting his Deso and all that.
For sure.
There was a time rather recently where Ban was in the unenviable position of having one defined role of being more or less just a guy who's an escort fighter for tower pushers. That time is gone, but he can still easily do that. He can still easily just push along with a guy and make it real quick. It's like Haddon getting a little, ballsy chasing down the Windrunner here. Doesn't even actually take her clarity off though. Doesn't even get a hit off on her.
Bounty.
Very sad.
I like Grimstroke's really just angry sounding bounty room line. Bounty.
Doesn't like money, dude. He's an artist.
Sure, he's a starving
He's there
artist.
for the art.
Deliberately starving artist.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They're really looking at
Got
Earth
5
Meteor,
on
but-
Radiant.
Yeah. Tidehunter might have
Tide.
stayed a little
Oh,
long
boy.
here, considering that they saw him coming on the wards.
Yep. He just gets blown up.
Maybe that was supposed to be bait for a Ravage or something, but that wasn't great, because they got the vision right there, including Sentry, so he definitely knew that was happening.
Well, there was smoke. You can't see smokes through Sentry, right?
Were they smoked? I didn't... I
think-
I saw Shadow Fiend hit Shadow Blaze.
At least
I don't
one of
think
them
they
was
were.
smoked.
I don't think Shadow Fiend was. I can easily check that, actually. Alright,
True.
gonna take you back to the past, everybody. Let's see it.
Sharks have my flesh.
Go back just a little more.
Witness this man die
Yeah,
again.
only Lion
Or
was
only
actually
was
smoked.
Okay.
So,
Alright. Makes sense then.
I definitely still think caution should have been
Radiant's top
exercised
tower
there.
is under attack.
Yep.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Oh my
Finally get the
God.
Ravage out. I think we skipped a little farther ahead than where we were. That's okay, because all we had was just to build up this little battle here. As
Yep.
Lion and Grimstroke, the supports just kind of stick around with Shadow Fiend trying to get the tower here, but they just get completely run over in retaliation.
Nuked by Windrunner.
Quick, Shadow Fiend and that creep get the soul.
And it's max souls, probably.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
The tower down here just getting absolutely demolished by the Dire. Radiant's already done, for the most part, taking T1s. All they got is one here in the off lane, which is not one they can get right now.
Radiant's bottom
Or not
tower
this off
has
lane in their
fallen.
safe lane.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
There are many things that Shadow Fiend wishes to do in this life, but test Juggernaut is not one of
With
them.
the
Even
double
before,
damage.
even before he saw the double damage, he still didn't want a piece of that. But Baden and Slark just trying to put some pressure on these lanes here. Somebody is, it's Lion, is taking Grimstroke's role, wants to be a cool
Alright.
artist. They're smoking in here. Just barely missed the Dire,
They
actually.
are
if only
going
that.
to see Jug.
Yep, they found him. But he is spinning already. He spun instantly before he
Yeah.
was even in range of anything, and so he's just getting away
Where
for
he
free.
was.
So
They
one of
definitely
the
had enough to kill him if he didn't do that.
one of the
But
core
hey, turn
issues
here.
with dealing with Jug is that you can't really smoke on him very effectively. He can just hit Q and cancel that crap, but we're still gonna have a little bit of a fight here. Got a global silence, forcing most of Radiant to back off, but they don't
Get off.
They don't want to actually bother dealing with that. They are just continuing the fight here. Windrunner gets a little greedy going for Shadow Fiend. Takes a full
Oh.
Shadow Fiend and Lion ult going down. That's 2 for nothing. Baden pops his ult using a mist coil, which is always a little frustrating. And now they're in a great prime position to take this tower. They do have Glyph, and yep, immediately comes out.
Dire's structures are
Yep.
fortified.
Don't think it would be a terrible idea for them to just keep the pressure up, though. They have a lot to take this. But no, they are not that willing. Well, they're not going far. Yeah, Lion and the Fiend are still definitely on top here. The one big issue they've had is that they've given up most of their ults here, except for the Grimstroke ult. But let's just call a spade here. The Grimstroke ult in this game is really not going to matter a lot for them outside of Finger.
Yep.
In fact, I
That works
believe
on line stuns too.
yeah, it's Finger and Lion's Hex, and I believe that's it.
Is under attack.
I think that's oh, Mist
It might
Coil,
send,
but
I think it might send 2 or spikes out.
that'd be weird because
Could be wrong.
it's a point target, right?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah. I
Oh,
guess that's
Silencer and Earth Spirit have Kind of wandered into the darkness here.
Oh man, that's
Radiant
a lot
is
of
still
damage.
more than willing to take him on. Abaddon, oh, that's not a great time for that borrowed time to come out. He's just kind of running around aimlessly, but he's here for Juggernaut. Casually snipes Juggernaut at the back of the fight. Healing Ward's still running. Abaddon having to chase it. Silencer, I don't know if he really understands what he's getting into, because yep, Abaddon can just knock that right off his head. Windrunner wants to turn this thing around, but she's just not getting anything. It's a 3-for-1 trade in favor of Radiant, and notably, Shadow Fiend still. Neither Shadow Fiend nor Slark have died in a long time.
Yep.
Slark has not died. In fact, neither of them have died at all yet, and they certainly haven't died over those few fights. That's a morale buster. If you're Dire, that's a lot of very bad signs for them very quickly.
Yeah, that's two very strong heroes on a snowball pace.
And perhaps the most notable bad sign for Dire is that they just lost a fight where they had ults and Radiant didn't.
Yep.
It's always like I said, a bit of a morale buster here. I don't think this game is gone by any stretch, but it's certainly going to have to be a different sort of playbook here. We're definitely not going to be winning any sort of early game team fights with this Dire. Juggernaut seems to think that the solution to all of his woes is by just farming himself up rather than taking these, perhaps. Oh no, they're wanting to smoke gank. They're going for more of a counterattack here.
Yep, they do have a lion.
Yep, Lion's on the
gonna
vision.
tank this.
And it is absolutely demolished. Not really. I mean, they got a kill. That's always great. Not necessarily a great use of that smoke on the Dire. You know, but that would have actually probably been better if they just sent Windrunner and Earthspear down here and let Juggernaut keep farming.
Everybody draw a circle.
Yeah, Dire seems to think perhaps that Radiant is just split to farm, but no, Radiant is just keeping the assault up on these towers here. Even though Radiant sees that Dire at the mouth of their jungle, nobody seems to be doing much with that information, though. Shadow Fiend looks like he's trying to bait a TP, but no TPs are coming for him. It's getting ballsy. Yep, just going to casually beat up this T3 up here.
Poking high ground.
He's going to get to do this for quite a long time. If Radiant had a little bit better vision, or, you know, was using perhaps what they already had to a better degree as well, definitely could get a lot of use out of this. They saw that smoke. They just completely saw that smoke happen. Everybody furiously pinging. I would be furiously pinging Shadow Fiend too, to be honest with you.
It's fine, I think.
He's got invis. They don't have any detection on this lineup. Oh, they got dust on Earth. Okay, yeah. Yep.
But
they do not.
You don't know exactly where he is.
Yep, Radiant don't wanna take this.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So they smoked for the outpost here. Didn't get really anything else done for their trouble.
Regeneration.
It's always very unfortunate to smoke right underneath. Uh-oh. Okay, this could be very bad.
Didn't know it was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they see him. Or Spirit.
Yeah, they got the dust on him. He's dead. He is just dead. He's doing a desperation ult, but he's not gonna get anything for it.
No.
That was bad. That was very bad for the Radiant in a lot of ways. Just casually losing the most last hits. I would bet probably top net worth. Yep, top net worth very casually in a very unnecessary way, to be frank. Just should not have kept that push going. Should have just went home, I think.
Right.
Lost it to Windrunner too. If there's anybody who has a magic key to turning this one around, it is Windrunner. They got Abaddon. Abaddon is pretty good at dealing with a Windrunner in a lot of ways, but not a perfect counter, and is largely centered on himself. Slark, also very self-centered, technically counter to Windrunner, but very self-centered in the way he executes, since they can easily be fought around. An old Shadow Fiend is, you know, just completely hopeless if Windrunner starts to mess with him. Abaddon picks up a Heaven's Halberd, probably just for the Windrunner here.
Yep.
Which is not a bad thing to have. Not a bad thing to have on him at all. He's watching this.
Jug too.
Good. But there's a lot of ways to deal with it for Jug, unfortunately. It's notably, even though spinning doesn't get rid of it. Yeah, if spinning Even though spinning doesn't get rid of it, you can still easily just spin and just do your damage, just use that to wait out the debuff. Put some pressure on the T1 bot here finally.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Got a bit of a skirmish here at the rune spot. It looks like Radiant is becoming more and more unwilling to actually take these fights as Shadow Fiend is more and more willing to go out and split. I think maybe there's almost a bit of a crisis of organization here to some degree, as the rest of Radiant wants to continue fighting, but Shadow Fiend himself really doesn't.
Yeah.
This is a decent comp at the very least to sort of split up and try to force unfortunate fights other places, but the Batten is doing a good job just spooking him out of doing anything useful. They're all just kind of waiting to try and do something about him, but nobody's really that willing to go ahead.
Yep.
I think Shadow Fiend, he might be in a little trouble here again. They're invading jungle, absolutely looking all over for him.
They don't know exactly where he is.
He doesn't know where they are either, though, which could be a big deal for him.
Oh.
They're assuming he's not home. Just casually took out the sentry ward. That's a great way to reveal where you are. That's the thing with the warding. Sometimes it can actually backfire on you a little bit. I think it actually kind of did in that situation where, you know, all they've got is sentries. They have no idea where you are, and then you blow up the sentry so you reveal yourself, you know.
Yep.
They want to run the smoke play again. It's like they're going to be smoking right into an enemy smoke, as Radiant is now more than willing to try and get an assault out on them here. Grimstroke taking himself another shawl, which is kind of interesting. He definitely fears that jumped on the wrongest possible guy here. Immediate Ravage comes out. Shadow Fiend's in big danger. Batten doesn't see it. Nobody sees it, but Windrunner is just not in any position to do anything anyway. She just completely melts. But Jug comes in doing a lot of damage, but he goes down himself. Unfortunately, everybody started ignoring the Shadow Fiend in the back there. Juggernaut's still just running. Slark getting as many kills as he wants in the back line. Nobody's stopping him. That's a hard fight to call. I think that's pretty much a... Oh, but we still got more here. We're still going further and further for that Tidehunter. I think you could call that a... really sort of a stalemate, I would say. The biggest tragedy here is they just left Juggernaut alive. They cannot do that.
Yep.
It's like...
Jug got a triple kill out of it, so...
Yep.
I don't think it's necessarily that much of a stalemate, because I feel like Jug came out of that a lot better than even Slark did.
Right. Slark did also get himself a couple of kills there, but... Notably, one of the kills that Jug got in that triple, though, was Shadow Fiend, and notably he's also second in net worth now, so... Yeah. At this point, this is for Radiant, sort of like how the match in the last series was, in the game one of the last series, where it's like, there's pretty much two people to worry about. Windrunner again and Juggernaut. If you don't get, effectively at this point, both of them in a fight, the fight was really not worth having, especially if you be in the way.
I can put it simply by just saying that Dire killed Radiant's top net worth, and Radiant did not kill Dire's.
Right. And sometimes it doesn't really matter at all, but in this case, I think it really did.
Oh, Slark is gonna run right at this guy. BKB.
Yep. Has to BKB and ult, but he is still doing fine. Tidehunter melts in seconds flat. Juggernaut gets hexed.
Oh dear.
He's halberted. Abaddon is just completely tunneled on the Juggernaut here. But he switched targets. He wants okay.
Alright,
Grimstroke
well,
nothing. I believe that was actually I think that might have been the first Grimstroke ult in the game so far, honestly.
Essentially.
Another glyph. They always seem to have when they need it, right?
Right, yeah.
Once again, though, not only did they not get Jug, they had neither of the guys. Still, at the very least, they won themselves quite a lot of room here. They're once again able to poke high ground. Certainly, it would be very ideal if the Radiant were able to take out this T3 and then swing top for that T3. Batten gets casually shackled, just soaks up the remaining damage. Splitting up
lot
who
of
they're
heavy
fighting with the
damage.
Rex here. It's not great,
Middle barracks are
but they get it in the end.
Not gonna matter.
Dire's middle barracks.
Oh, got a bad in here. They just want
Is under attack.
to oh, has to manually pop that because the global silence. I think that's how that works.
Yep.
A strong breeze will
They actually do get abandoned that. His team does not stick around to fight for him.
Yep.
Still definitely a worthwhile investment because, you know, Abaddon is certainly worth the Rex. They are going to try and stick around to fight
Right forward.
Grimstroke here.
He's got his friend Slork with him though. And that is not something
Uh-oh.
you want to see.
Uh-oh,
Oh,
Slark,
the Omni.
yeah, he got Slark when he had neither ult nor Invis on him. Well, that's certainly bad. Abaddon might not have been worth the Rex, but that definitely was. That was
Yeah, for
harsh.
sure.
A harsh sort of wake-up call for Slark that he's just not going to be able to survive an Omni Slash at any point in this game, really.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Right.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
The offensive now turning around. Dire furiously trying to make use of this time with Slark down.
Yep.
The Fiend up, though, it's going to be hard to make that much out of it.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Find some couriers in the in their secret shop. Just knock out Abaddon's for free. Slark's barely edges out there with an ultimate orb. Probably building Scotty, right? Yeah, just building Scotty.
Yep.
Radiant scanning, looking for a Roche attempt. They are not actually there. They're all in the triangle, just farming up. It's hard to say who has a decisive advantage right now. I mean, Radiant has a
Pretty
gold
even game,
lead.
yeah.
Radiant has a gold lead, but I feel like Dire's gold lead is more centered on the two people that they absolutely need the gold to be on. You know, they got a better spread of the money, and on top of that, they also are still competitive with the Radiant supports financially as well.
Yep.
Radiant was
Ooh,
looking for a
very
little
risky.
Roche themselves. They
Risky.
smoked in for this.
Yep.
Smoked in for this, but that's not going to matter if Abaddon just pops in there right in front of the ward. They're just trying to kill Roche
Oh, they're
before
coming.
anybody go for it. I think they just smoked under Vision again, though. I think that was under that ward at top, or mid.
Mm. Oh dear.
This is a big ult for Grimstroke. Comes out here, two silences, Tidehunter and Earth Spirit alike. Both just have to sit there. They just have to keep running and running. Tidehunter eats it. The Dire just absolutely just making it as big of a retreat as possible here. Just running like the Dickens from this lineup here. They do not want to have any of this. Dire likely just gonna take this this T3 here. Good stun on
sick.
Lion.
Big stun, yep.
Here comes the juggle. Omni Slash comes in. Doesn't actually get a great amount done. The Shadow Fiend ult doesn't either, as pretty much everybody pertinent is magic immune for it. Slark, his Aegis has been popped. Juggernaut is in trouble here. He's in front of everybody. He's dead. Triple kill for Grimstroke of all people. He's dead. Jug's dead, and he does not have
Alrighty.
buyback. This is a Rex.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Mm-hmm.
Dire's top barracks
Very
has
interesting.
fallen.
Yeah.
I think if I'm being frank here, if I'm coaching, the exact words I would use right now are hope for a throw. I don't think if Dire are able to turn around at this juncture that it's going to be on their own terms. And it looks like they're not taking that risk. They're not shaking that chance. They're just going right for that Ancient. Dire finally able to get Glyph back up. Earth Spirit in here with a really big Magnetize, actually, but
It is
Abaddon
pretty big.
able to just knock it off here. Windrunner dies to Mist Coil. Buys back, but just not in time. Ancient just goes down, and that's it. That's game one.
It's a game.
Dire's structures are
Very interesting game. Very, very interesting game there from the Backdoor Boys, who had a very a very offensive-focused sort of approach to this game. They just wanted to keep that push going forever, and
Yep.
they got it, basically.
Constant lane pressure.
Looking at the scores here, I can tell you one thing, just looking at the sniff test, looking at the eye test, the Earth Spirit pick did not, in fact, itself really work out particularly well. He has a lot of A's, but Earth Spirit gets a lot of A's just by existing, and existing is really more or less all he did in this match. I feel like maybe they were just trying to put too much into the idea of the permanent silence, and as you
Yeah.
mentioned, if it was timed super well and the conditions were great for it, then that would have been a very nasty combo. But the problem is that you know, that there was very rarely a point where he could have even potentially gotten 5 people on an individual rock for the silence, and things just didn't line up for him here. Plus, Earth Spirit against Abaddon is not a very idealistic combination, because Abaddon can just, aphotic and knock out a lot of the damage that a Magnetize is doing, and
Yeah.
Slar can just hit R and just get rid of it entirely. And I
Note
don't
that-
know.
I think Abaddon against Silencer is good too, because he can purge global off himself and then purge it off someone else. Am I right about that? I'm pretty sure he can.
I'm not actually sure about that. I don't know. I
guess
believe
if
you
it gets
can.
purged.
I can't
Yeah.
think, because borrowed time is a purge, and you can activate it when you're silenced or stunned or all that sort of thing,
Yep.
like when you have Ags and Ursa, right? So you can theoretically do that. There might be. I can't think of a single reason that wouldn't work. Basically, is the
Yeah.
best way I could put it.
So it's definitely good against Silencer.
I will say this much. I do think Abaddon's, not like it matters that much they won. I do think Abaddon's item build was a little bit all over the place. I feel like a little bit more direction there. Either tanking up, either focusing on your attack speed, or what have you, would have done him some good here. The Halberd, for example, never really came into play as far as I saw. It seemed like every time he used it was on Jug, and Jug just manted immediately.
Yep.
So the Halberd was good in concept. I feel like the better way to go would have been just go to the other way, and either rush for that AC that he was building at the end anyway, go for his Shivas, go for the defensive side of things. I think that would have done him a lot of good, because it would have let him deal with both guys a little bit more effectively. Not like it mattered much. The Echo Saber in particular. The reason I don't like Echo Saber on Abaddon is because it really, like, the stats are better now than they used to be, but it's still not particularly what you're looking at. A very small stat boost anyway. You get 2 free hits, sure, but the third and fourth hit come quite slowly. If you want a good attack speed steroid, you want to go for an early Hyperstone rather than a Saber. Not like it mattered here, but again, if you see another Abaddon play in this tournament, there's a good one for you. Because it'll help you get 4 hits more consistently rather than get 2 hits and then the other guy just runs away.
Yep.
Uh,
Well, there's a slow on Echo Saber, so.
There is a slow, but still, you get 2 hits, you're slowed for a half second, and then you just, book it. If you've got a better attack speed, it makes you more of a existential threat, and it helps you keep the pace up when your Echo Saber is down, which it will be very frequently. A lot of times in Battle as Abaddon, what you're going to have to do invariably is, you get a few hits on one guy, then you have to switch off to another, then you have to switch off to another before you finally are able to just barrel down on one guy long enough to get the curse off. That's something that like an early Hyperstone is great for, and something that Echo Saber is not so great for. Still, he did well enough. He definitely did well. Really everybody on Radiant did well. I think it was 5 good games for all these guys, basically.
Yep.
On Dire, I feel like Dire did have the tools there, though I do feel like there were a few times they just let it slip through their fingers. I think it was mostly a comp issue. Well, there's 2 things. I feel like the Tide ults never really came into their favor. Ravage never seemed to be good for anything but keeping Tide alive, and it often did not really serve even in that role. But beyond that, I feel like the comp really did not go well together. It's just, You've got Silencer and Earth Spirit, who are too similar in function as to become almost redundant in what they do. You have the Tidehunter ult, which is just purely defensive in this game. They really don't have much follow-up on it. And you got Juggernaut and Windrunner, who both have more or less the same gimmick and more or less the same weakness as far as, walk into battle and ult, and then the second the ult's over, you're done.
Right.
Still, I don't think anybody in this game played particularly badly. I think there were some issues, but I don't think anybody played badly, and it'll be interesting to see round 2. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure.
Think there's a hope for Backdoor Boys with the second round,
Well, they won this game,
or
so
not Backdoor? I think
Lich Boys.
think there's hope for Lich in the second round.
Yeah, maybe with some respect bans and you know, more
More of a
suppose just
focus, more of a
yeah,
focus on their lineup, trying to make more of a unit.
right.
Well,
Better team comp.
we'll see you there.